So, you're prepping for the GMAT? And let's be honest, that critical reasoning section can be a total headache, right? But what if I told you there's a simple, repeatable framework that can basically crack any question they throw at you? Well, that's exactly what this is. This is your personal masterclass, and we are going to simplify this thing once and for all.
Welcome to EduRev. I'm really excited to walk you through this, so let's just dive right in.
You know, for so many students I've talked to, just hearing the words critical reasoning is enough to cause a little bit of stress. It just sounds so abstract and complicated. But I promise you, it's a skill, and like any skill, you can master it with the right approach. Today, we're going to fix that nervousness for good.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. What even is critical reasoning, and why is the GMAT so obsessed with it? Well, the answer is actually pretty simple. It's not a test of what you've memorized. It's a test of how you think, how you analyze arguments, which, is a pretty core skill for the business world.
Think of it like this. The GMAT just wants to see if you can take an argument, pick it apart, spot its weaknesses, and tell the difference between a solid fact and a shaky assumption. These are the exact skills we're going to build together today, step by step.
You know, to win any battle, you've got to know the terrain. So before I show you my strategy, let's get a quick lay of the land and look at the different kinds of critical reasoning questions you're going to be up against on exam day. Now, take a look at this. It might seem like there's a whole bunch of different question types, but the reality is way simpler. See that giant chunk of the chart? That's right. About 70% of all the questions you're going to see fall under one big category: evaluate an argument. And that's a total game changer, because it means we can focus on mastering just one core skill set and be ready for most of the test. So that's exactly what we're going to do.
All right, this is the main event. This is what you came for. Over the years, I have boiled down my approach to a 4-step process for any CR question, and I'm telling you, it is the only one you will ever need. It's simple, is repeatable, and believe me, it works.
Okay, here it is, your 4-step framework. First, and I cannot stress this enough, you always read the question before the argument. You gotta know your mission. Second, you deconstruct the argument, break it down into its basic parts. Third, and this is the secret sauce right here. You're gonna predict the flaw or the gap in the logic before you even peek at the answers. And finally, you analyze the choices using that prediction as your guide. Let's make this your new instinct.
Look, theory's great and all, but practice is where it all clicks. So let's take this 4-step strategy for a test drive and apply it to a real GMAT-style problem right now.
Okay, just take a second here and read the argument on your screen. Don't try to solve it yet, just let the information sink in. We've got a conclusion saying a program failed, and the evidence is all about drug prices. Got it?
And here we go. Step 1. Read the question first. It's asking for the assumption the argument depends on. So, mission clear, we need to find that hidden, unstated piece of info that the entire argument needs to be true.
All right, on to step 2, deconstructing the argument. What's the main point here? The conclusion? It's right there at the start. The program failed. And why do they think that? What's the evidence? If it had succeeded, prices wouldn't have dropped. So the author is drawing a straight line, a direct link between falling prices and a failing program.
And now, for the most important step. Step 3, find the flaw before we look at the answers. There's a huge logical gap in what the author's saying. They're assuming that the only possible reason prices dropped is because the program failed to stop the supply. But is that really true? Could something else have caused the price drop? I mean, what if demand just collapsed for some reason? That would make prices plummet too. The argument completely ignores that possibility, and that is the gap we need to fill.
So now, and only now, do we go to step 4 and look at the choices. We're on the hunt for an answer that deals with that alternative cause we just found, the whole idea of a drop in demand. Now, choices A, B, C, and D, they're talking about supply, or consumer prices, or other stuff. They're all just traps designed to distract you.
And there it is, answer E. It says that a drop in demand wasn't the sole cause of the price drop. This is the perfect assumption. Why? Because it protects the argument. It plugs that hole we found. Think about it. If a huge drop in demand was the real reason for the price drop, then the author's whole conclusion about the program failing just falls apart. It's meaningless. So for the argument to work, it absolutely has to assume that this other cause wasn't the main driver.
That was great work. We've broken down the problem, we've learned a really powerful strategy, and we've put it to the test. Now, let's just lock all this in with a quick recap of the most important things to remember.
Just remember these 4 things. 1. Always read the question first to know your job. 2. Break every single argument down into its conclusion and its evidence. 3. Try to spot that logical gap before you get tempted by the answer choices. And 4. Get really good at spotting those tricky wording traps that GMAT loves to set.
So we've built the foundation and we've walked through the whole process. The only thing left is practice, turning the strategy from something you think about into something you just do. So the real question is, are you ready to master this?
The only way to make this strategy feel like second nature is to practice it. And you can do exactly that with thousands of GMAT-level questions right on the EduRev app. It's really the perfect way to sharpen your skills and build that test day confidence. You can find us on the Play Store and the iOS App Store to take the next step. Thanks for tuning in, and good luck.